Welcome everybody. We're now going to actually get you the finals of the Tiki Open number 9. Unfortunately was not able to cast them live, but that's in a way good because now we're going to be able to get high definition VODs of this. So right now we do have DDE going up against RootDdoRo. This is Root Gaming's DDoRo. He's a very skilled player, part of the team Root Gaming. Very skilled guys. I think you can check them out at rootgaming.com. I think it's a simple URL like that. Right now, they are playing on iCCup Sanshorn Mist. Like, iCCup maps are really good maps, and this one is kind of interesting in multiple ways, as you do have a very easy to defend natural expansion with a ramp that goes directly into it from your main, and actually fairly easy to defend because you also have this ramp at the choke of your natural expansion. You can see that it is 3 different tiers in terms of just levels, so you can do interesting things with vision. And there's also a second ramp inside the main base that leads to this little outcropping that you can do things like place tanks on for defense, or just drop into your opponent and then just run straight up into the main and try and do a lot of damage that way. Right now we can just look at the very fast openings. It's just normal barracks timing, and DDoRo does seem like there's the gateway at the normal time, so he's not doing something insane. He's also not going for a really economic like 13 or 14 gateway that is sometimes done. Right now we also do see that he did do a really early scout with his probe as it's already in DDE's base, just running around doing some damage, hurting some SUVs. So DDE does seem to try and get this done, but DDoRo is just going to be able to run around the base. I hope I wouldn't screw that up with DDE and DDoRo. But right now it's just pretty normal stuff. The map is kind of cool. You can see that there's the third base is just right over here, just directly next to natural expansion, as you do have just ramp to ramp, and you actually have a sort of high ground third expansion, which is really good, very useful. But there is this entrance back here, as well as this entrance in the front that actually can lead to your fourth. So it's a really economic map. You can even see that there's gold expansions over here that are covered by these structural rocks, but still very useful, and also island expos in the top left and bottom right that only have 6 mineral patches, which is a really cool dynamic when you think about it in terms of managing your economy, because you have normal just mineral amounts of minerals in all your bases, except for these ones that are so easy to defend because they're air ones, that it just gives you a little bit less of benefit for those, and gives you a little more incentive to go for these riskier expansions over here that also actually, whoa, look, this one also has 6 mineral patches. So these expos actually have 7 mineral patches, so you actually have really good dynamics just for that, with 8 mineral patches in the main natural, third base with 7, and then expos beyond that with 6, which is definitely going to be interesting aspect to the late game, when you have to have a little less income than you're normally used to, as Blizzard maps generally do have 8 mineral patches in every single one of the maps, and every one of the bases. So it's just a little different from that. And another good example of this is actually iCCup Matchpoint, that has 9 mineral patches in the main, 7 in the natural expansion, and then 6 generally around the other expansions, which is really cool. It just makes 1 basing versus 2 basing, and then just various expansion patterns a lot more indicative of intelligence when you actually use the slightly less influx of minerals to really be able to alter your gameplay. Which is definitely a cool aspect. And right now DDoRo does slow down a second gateway, so you won't be going for a 1 gate fast expand. Instead, he just seems to be trying to do some pressure on with these 2 gates. And DDE is just going to go on for a normal gameplay, doing a reactor onto his barracks, getting his starport up, his factories up, and with a fast tech lap. So we could be seeing a really quick just Banshee, or maybe even a Raven, if maybe do a Pulp Prime push, which could be really good, as it's incredibly hard to defend as Protoss. As general, I think you do have to stay on 1 base to really be able to defend it, get a lot of sentries, zealots, and use really good force field and guardian shield micro to really be able to get it done. But DDE is going to be able to have a lot of marines, so his DPS is going to be really powerful. He throws on a Raven instead of the Banshees with Cloak. So that's not going to be a huge deal. So DDoRo does not need to worry about having Banshees in his mineral line. However, he's going to have a sizable force and have few stalkers, because of the fact that the point defense drone will really be able to take a lot of damage from the stalkers away. But now DDoRo is going to be able to run around with this stalker, get some just a little bit of scouting done. DDE is going to be able to get his command center up. He's going to produce anything over here. It does seem to just be straight up Marines being produced. DDE does still just going for the Raven. We can see in RootDdoRo's base that he's got a Stargate up. He's going to go for a Phoenixes. This would actually be really good, build do some harassment and get a lot of scouting done with this Phoenix. That's going to be really useful. DDoRo's going to run back with his Stalker. He saw everything over here. let's just look at his vision for a second. We see RootDdoRo just saw this. Oh, he actually didn't really run up over there at all. He didn't see anything that's up there. But instead, you're probably just trying to poke if there's a natural expansion or not. He saw that there was none and just pulled back right away, knowing that his Stalker couldn't do much damage. But RootDdoRo does seem like he has plans of expanding himself, as he does have a probe out here ready to throw down an Expo if he wants to. He's now running around with his Phoenix. It did take a lot of hits, actually. Let's just see what he saw with the Phoenix. So he saw the starport, saw all of this. Has a general idea. He knows that the expansion is coming up, so he will know that that's happening. He does not see the double barracks that were just thrown down by DDE, though. So it's going to be a little bit of a problem for him, theoretically. But DDE does have... Okay, so DDE tries to scout. He knows that there's also still no expansion. RootDdoRo's had this probe here for a while. He's just not using it. However, he does have 2 Phoenixes here. He's ready to start harassing with them if he wants to. However, the Marine and... Oh, the Viking's also going to probably deter him from really trying to get some harassment done. 3 Phoenixes are out. But really, there's no incredibly juicy units for him to use. He might be able to try and snipe this Wraithen, but no, he's going to have to pull back after seeing those forces. He does take a little bit of hull damage with this Phoenix, but he should still be okay. It does seem that this second orbital command is out, so we do have double muling from DDE as a possibility, and still no Expo from RootDdoRo. He is throwing down more pylons over here, though, so it seems like he really wants to. He just doesn't feel safe to really get his expansion up. But he does... Okay, he's throwing it down now. Fairly good timing, but still, DDE does have a lot of economic advantage right now. Let's look at the income for a second. We can see that DDE does have a couple hundred more minerals coming in than RootDdoRo. But RootDdoRo is going to try and do some harassment with these guys. I'm assuming he'll do that soon. However, DDE right now is doing pretty safe because he has all these Marines and his Viking up. But let's just see. Yeah, the Viking gets a hit off, and RootDdoRo is just going to pull back. Alright, so still, DDE has not moved out to his natural expansion. He could probably just throw up a bunker or 2 over here, get his command center down, and then be okay. He's getting a lot of tanks out now. He does have 2. He doesn't have siege mode quite yet, but is it researching? It is not researching, but actually a lot of infantry upgrades are being upgraded right now. You can see that there's stim pack, there's combat shield, and if we look at the engineering bay, there's even +1 weapons going down. He's salvaging his bunker, so he does seem like he's going to prepare to move out and take his expansion. Yep, there it is. And let's just see how this is going to continue. RootDdoRo, he's going for Colossi now. He's getting his observer out. He's got his robotics bay out as well. It's just a matter of time before he does get his Colossi. He's also finishing up his natural expansion right now to be able to transfer probes and get a lot of income from that, as he does need it, as DDE is now on 2 bases. There's the transfer of these Marines and SCVs just to start defending over here. So DD is going to be able to do this, and RootDdoRo should be able to see. He's going to run in right now. Yeah, he's just see it and just pull back. So he knows what's going on. And oh, there's a scan on RootDdoRo's base. So now it's clear for DDE that he's actually got an economic advantage. If he clicks on these minerals, he'll be able to tell if RootDdoRo's had this for a long time. We see that there's just under 1,500 on most of those guys. And now he's going to start mining gas. You can see that we do have extended thermal lands coming down, as well as the first Colossus is almost done. So the army is going to start to get pretty strong for RootDdoRo once he gets up to like the 3 Colossi range or so, and that'll allow him to take a lot, do a lot of damage to DDE, as DDE doesn't have a ton in terms of army right now. It seems that good units for a second. 36 SCVs. Actually, he's got very few SCVs. RootDdoRo is doing a lot better with making probes and stuff. RootDdoRo is also even throwing down his forge, so he will be able to research just some +1 attack upgrades or armor upgrades for his ground units right now, as well as getting cannons up. I'm curious to know if DDE or RootDdoRo have a plan to expand again. They might be just trying to sit on 2 base, macro up, and then just continue to progress like that. Now there's missile turrets out, so it's gonna be a little harder for DDE to get harassed by the Phoenixes. However, it's going to be a little more... It's going to be really unfortunate for RootDdoRo. They won't be able to do that, as he's been kind of down in terms of economy because of the mules and the faster second base by DDE. Though the income is... Wow, the income's actually really into his favor. Like, there's just not very many SCVs from DDE right now. So the economic management from RootDdoRo has actually been really, really good. And the fact that... I guess DDE just has not been making use of his ability to double SCV early on. But now it does seem like we're going to have a switch, get some medevacs out most likely from this starport, and all these tanks don't have siege mode. There are ghosts out, but without siege mode, these tanks are not going to be as effective as they could be. This probe's going to go by, and this probe's going to get a... Oh, okay, it's... Protoss actually just runs right by an army. That's just kind of strange. But now the Colossi are out, and oh, big EMP on all of those sentries. That's actually really, really bad for him. We do have this stim coming down, and a sacrificial Colossus going to get taken out. But still, 2 Colossi are here. We do have these Phoenixes that are going to be able to do a lot of damage, take out these Vikings, which is going to be really, really key for RootDdoRo to be able to defend against this. And it seems like RootDdoRo is going to actually be fine. There are the Phoenixes taking out the tanks. The tanks are going to be really easy meat. And DDE is just trying to stim, do as much damage as he can, run away. And really, RootDdoRo's in a really good spot right now. We can see that in the food count. RootDdoRo is now ahead by 40 food. However, DDE is going to throw down another expansion. But really, the lack of SCVs and income is really hurting DDE right now. RootDdoRo is just doing really well, pushing just everything away that DDE has been trying to do. We do have another Stargate coming out, and also 2 gateways. So it seems that RootDdoRo might just want to stay on these 2 bases and continue just to produce, and then just make one final push and just utterly destroy DDE. Possibly waiting for 2 or 3 more just warp gate cycles, as well as maybe a Colossus. Could be really, really effective. And he also has +1 upgrades about to finish. That might be a good sign to attack. And look at this, just probe saturation. It's a lot more in his main than his natural, but he's still at such a higher income. He can just do whatever he wants to right now. DDE is actually unable to continue producing this command, so it does seem that those Phoenix just ran by and killed the SCV. But DDE needs to continue that. He's going to not be able to have a 3rd up as fast as he would want to. DDE is also doing a good job of scouting, making sure that nothing's going on over there. And RootDdoRo is going to throw down his 3rd over here at a really good spot with his natural 3rd expansion. I mean, that is the same kind of choice that DDE did, but DDE is not choosing to complete this command center. Instead, RootDdoRo is going to be able to have his 3rd up first, faster than DDE's, which is really going to be bad as DDE is behind enough as it is. You see the food counts even up. Like, yeah, RootDdoRo is doing so much better, having a 50 food just deficit between him and DDE. And DDE is trying to finally start to continue this, but that's going to be completely worthless, as it's going to get taken out anyway. So in a way, it's going to benefit him, because he's going to be able to cancel this command center and get most of his money back from it, and DDE does choose to do that. Also, big scan on this army, and DDE is going to be able to see it. And, oh, look at this, counterattack. DDE going to probably try and hope for a base trade or something, but it's going to be spotted by these Phoenixes, and the Phoenixes are going to be able to take out these Vikings that are trying to take out these Colossus. So the Colossi will be able to do a ton of damage, as they won't be able to be hit unless DDE actually target fires with the Vikings. Now we can see that, okay, so we now do have a lot of Phoenixes are out. So this is going to be complete air dominance from RootDdoRo, and he'll be able to lift off units once this fight ends, once he takes care of these 6 Vikings. Alright, so now DDE is going to have a spotter supply depot down here. It's definitely smart. And now the 3rd is up for RootDdoRo. He'll be able to have a lot of income, now, even more so than before. And he's forced DDE back onto 2 bases instead of wanting to be on 3 like DDE was hoping for with this attempt at an expansion. But now RootDdoRo does have a really large army. He's going to be able to destroy this army without really much trouble. But oh, there's a stim. He's running in. The Phoenixes are going to start taking on these Vikings. The Colossi are having free reign over all of these infantry units. Stalkers are taking the hits from the Marauders. The Vikings they're finally targeting a little bit of the Colossus, but one Colossus is about to go down. It does go down. The 3 Colossi and Stalkers and Zealots up still up, and there's GG from DDE. So RootDdoRo did a really good job macroing up, making sure that he didn't take any damage early on, and just doing such a good job of shutting down the expansion and just winning a very solid game. Really good game. We're going to move on to game number 2. DDE is down, and RootDdoRo is up 1-0. Thank you guys for watching.